Yes, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We have done another week, my friends. Congratulations. And West Ham take on Aston Villa at London Stadium on Sunday. We'll have Oppo reviews, we'll have stat attacks, match day morning outside the London Stadium, all that type of stuff happening over the weekend. And indeed, should have the Nuno Espirito Santos' press conference today as well. So, absolute scenes. Now, what we like to do on the network is obviously we report back all the transfer rumours, but when there's like a more of a not necessarily concrete one, but one which does seem to be bringing up a bit more interest, a bit more news, Statman Ben will scurry away and put together some stats around that player, and we'll look at how suited they are to West Ham, what we're looking for. And one of the players we've been linked with over in going into the transfer window is the Lazio striker Tati Castellanos Valentine, or Tati as he likes to be called. When we were actually linked to him when he was at New York City, Argentinian international. So we've put a few stats together to talk about him in a bit more detail. So for anyone who doesn't know Valentine, he is let's put a nice background on, lovely. He's a 27-year-old striker from Argentina, almost 300 senior appearances under his name, 100 goals, 44 assists. So that's almost 1 in 2 goal involvements. Last season, 40 appearances for Lazio, 14 goals, 8 assists, and a goal involvement stat of 0.63. So, so that's not too bad. 65% of his of 90 minutes he was involved in he at least one. Good player. He is a striker. He is 27, though, and he's probably going to be valued at around £26 million, which I think's probably on the money for someone who's still got 3, 4, I say, years in the elite top level, maybe even 5, depending on how well he keeps himself fit and stuff. But in terms of his strengths, off the ball movement and positioning, he likes to. As I said, that's probably his greatest asset in terms of what he can bring, which would definitely benefit West Ham. He's highly intelligent, particularly at creating sort of separation from defenders, which is sort of what we need. Makes deceptively diagonal runs as well. We love a diag at West Ham, occupying space in their box to be available for a pass. Finishing. On both feet, he possesses strong finishing abilities and capable of finishing competently with both his left foot and his preferred his right foot and his preferred left foot, giving him unpredictability in front of goal, which again is really well suited to the Premier League. Aerial duels and headering. He's not the tallest man on the pitch, but despite not being an elite height for a target man, he is noted for his strong ability to win aerial duels. He's got a good leap on him, scores with headers due to excellent jumping and positioning. Work rate and pressing, I think this is a key thing. Really high work rate and often contributing to the defensive phase of the game, showing a willingness to press and drop deep into midfield to link up play, which I like. And then following on that link up play and creativity. He is more than just a poacher. He excels at one-touch football and can drop deep to progress the ball between chances of teammates, showcasing good vision and passing near the penalty area. So, it's very much, you could see him complementing the likes of, Paqueta, for example, and Fernandes. In terms of weaknesses, discipline is a slight weakness. Tendency to receive yellow cards. Loves a yellow card. Consistency in goal conversion. He takes a lot of shots, but analysis suggests he sometimes underperforms his XG, meaning he takes a lot of shots. He might miss shots that he should score. There's certain players like that who do score a lot of goals, but take a lot of shots. Ollie Watkins, for me, someone like that. He takes a lot of shots, but he does score, but not all of them, if that makes sense. So because he takes so many, his XG then falls down. Shooting from distance, his style of play likes to shoot within distance, which can sometimes be a low percentage shot attempt and a less efficient use of possession. So he's not going to bang it in from 35 yards as such, but he's going to be in and around the box. Dribbling success rate compared to positional peers, his successful dribbling rate has been noted as lower, indicating this is not a primary way of beating a defender. He relies on pace. He relies on one touches, gives and goes. That's his style. And pass completion rate, his overall pass completion rate, especially short passes, has sometimes been below average compared to other forwards, suggesting an area for improvement in ball retention. So not the finished article, far be it, but there's definitely some things there which are encouraging, and some things that it's good to note. He's not the Messiah. He's just a naughty boy, literally, in terms of his discipline. When looking at some of the stats, let me go full screen so we can see this. Some of the metrics and how they compare with what we need at West Ham. Shush. You've got there, shot totals. He's in the 99th percentile in terms of the top 5 football league forwards. To generate shots independent of creating support. He's in the 85th for non-penalty XG, 92nd for shots on target, and in the top 73 for 4 goals. Actually, a little bit higher up now, actually. A reliable conversion rate in a defensive league in terms of Serie A. Let's talk about what he could bring, how he'd fit into a Nuno setup. Firstly, the pressing and defensive work rate. Built on defensive organisations and pressing, often within a 4-2-4 structure. So he likes to win the ball back in dangerous situations. He's renowned for his high work rate and contribution to defensive phase, making him an ideal first line of defence to trigger the press, a quality that we know Nuno demands in his forwards. Focal point for direct play, the Chris Wood role, as we've called it. He often employs a direct build-up, as we know. Tati sort of physically, he's physically quite imposing, despite being 179 centimetres. He is very good in aerial duels, allowing him to hold up the ball and battle against Premier League centre-halves, providing a crucial outball for the defence. Intelligent link-up play. Nuno often requires his strikers to drop deep to link up play and create overloads in midfield. That is what Tati is noted for, his excellent link-up play and ability to operate as a false 9, using one-touch passes and vision to bring in wide runners like Jared, like Somerville, and also attacking midfielders like Paqueta into the game. Moving for quick transitions. Nuno's ultimate goal is to win the ball and transition quickly. That's how his team is set up. And Tati's main strength is off-the-ball movement, especially making intelligent diagonal runs, accelerating runs behind the opposition defence. This speed intelligence would be perfectly suited to capitalising on the space created during West Ham's quick offensive transitions and aerial threat from set pieces. We see that Nuno has shown an increased emphasis on set pieces, and Tati's proven aerial ability, despite his height, does suggest that he can make a very dangerous target in the box for corners and crosses, adding another dimension to the attack that Nuno could exploit. So, is he a good signing? According to Statman Ben, yes. Tactically suitable. The Nuno factor in terms of that high pressing rate, high defensive work rate, perfect striker to execute Nuno's demanding defence to attack transition system. He's not just a poacher. His ability to drop deep for link-up play and hold at the ball make him versatile. As a key striker for Lazio, Tati would command a substantial fee, though. So he said likes about 25, 26 million quid. He has had recent. There's always a fly in the ointment, isn't there? Where have we gone? There it is. It's always a fly in the ointment, isn't he? He has had some injuries recently, and he has had a few injuries. So that plus the fact he's 26 million could be a significant financial risk for West Ham. But cautious, yes. A cautious, yes. Yes, he's a superior tactical fit for Nuno's side than probably most of other sort of realistic striking targets we've had. However, the club must be highly confident in his injury recovery. Basically, he got injured and during this time with Sarri, and very much lost his place because of that. And if you're looking at about 25 million quid for his signature, it's a fee. I know it's manageable, but I mean, there is that calculated risk. Nicholas Fulkrug was that calculated risk, which failed as well. But his compatibility with the system makes him a worthy and potentially transformative risk, in our opinion. But we shall wait and see, my friends. It all depends what happens in a few weeks' time when the transfer window opens. But interesting. If you want that Julian Dick shirt, the draw closes today. Link in the description below. £5 entry, multiple multi-buy tickets available, and not loads of people have entered. In all transparency, you've got a bloody good chance, of getting that in time for Christmas, for only a £5. You lucky buggers. Anyway, till then, we'll be back with the Nuno Espirito Santo press conference a little bit later on, and I will see you on the flippity flop, my friends. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and I'll see you later, slags. Much love. Bye bye.